Hey everybody, welcome to the Always Out of Market podcast. You're either listening to us or watching our gosh dang beautiful faces right now. Couple of beautiful boys we are. We got a almost full crew this week. Myself, Ryan, of course. We have Jason, giveaway
Hello.
Jason, Matthew,
Hi, how are you?
Tyler on a rare camera appearance.
Yeah.
So there's his beautiful face, and Steven.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, there we go. Steven is really mastering his social skills. You know, he works on it every day. He just practices in front of the mirror.
Or, in this case, in front of the
Creative and
camera.
In front of the camera, yeah. Just
Yeah.
figuring out normal human talk. He's trying to become a human, guys. We're on Steven's side here.
Como estas?
Jokes on everybody who's watched a bunch of our episodes. Steven has actually been AI this whole time.
Yeah, no. Which I sound new.
Everybody,
Crazy enough, Always Out of Market podcast has some of the most revolutionary AI technology you'll
it's
ever
gonna
see.
phase into existence.
I was trying to, but the camera actually followed with me. I don't.
The AI is too good.
Yeah.
I thought we'd start this week with obviously it's still playoff week 2. We're on a divisional round, and a lot of crazy kind of games last week. Honestly, we at most one of us got 3 games right out of the 6 games last week, so it was a pretty crazy week. Yeah, I thought we'd start off with something cool because only one of the 5 of us team is actually still in the playoffs. Of what team are we actually going for in the playoffs at this point? And we can obviously start with Matthew. Matthew, what team are you going for in the playoffs?
Probably the 49ers.
Yeah. Hey, fuck you, Ryan. That's what he just said.
No, it's go pack till I die.
Oh yeah.
Just so y'all know, I'm gonna flip while we're doing this. I'm gonna flip to the bracket so that they can see it.
Yep.
So that's where we're at right now.
Tyler, what's your pick so far out of the remaining teams?
Go Bucks, go.
Go Bucks, go! All right, going with that geographical, closeness. Baker believer, Tyler is.
Tampa Bay.
Yep. But you, Jason?
I've said it since the playoffs were starting to get set. I'm going for the Ravens. No, fuck the Chiefs. I'm going for the Ravens. This
Not
year.
the Bills.
No, I don't like the Bills. I wish the Chiefs and the Bills could both get eliminated tonight or tomorrow night, whenever they play.
Yep. All right, Steven, what's your pick?
Yeah, I was saying before we started that the team that I was going for potentially was going to be the Rams, but of course they got eliminated by the Lions. But after watching the I don't know if y'all saw it, but the post game speech by Campbell to the players was awesome. And you just that culture in that room was just it was great. It was great. So I'm gonna root for the Lions, I think.
Yeah. First playoff win in 32 years or something, I think it was.
Yeah, sorry, Matthew.
I'm about to say, to expand on that, I am also definitely going for the Lions as well in this playoff. I'm a believer of the storyline. I mean, the city deserves it. The team deserves it. They've had
The city doesn't deserve it at all.
It is Detroit. Let's be careful here, but
I'm about to say Detroit is better than some other cities that are in the NFL. That's for certain.
Yeah. Also, it'd be great if my Ravens-Lions midseason awards prediction was right. So I think that's another reason that I'll go for the Lions here. As far as the AFC side, though, I at this point I think it's going to either be the Ravens or the Bills, just because I at least am rooting for the Bills tonight. Or is it tomorrow that they're playing? I get the Chiefs, but
it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow. Okay, but yeah. Overall, I'll just say Lions.
Yeah, my ideal Super Bowl would be Lions Bills because I like the Bills. I always have. I'm a Josh Allen believer. I like Josh Allen. I know we have certain people here.
Josh Allen isn't playing.
Oh my God, Tyler.
Oh yeah, we need to address what Tyler's wearing here.
I guess in our usual fantasy segment, since fantasy is over, we'll address that. Tyler, why don't you let the people know what you've done for your punishment?
I bought a Josh Allen jersey.
But it's not the Josh Allen you're thinking of.
The linebacker Josh Allen.
Josh Allen,
Jaguars.
It's kind of
Josh Allen.
The double one, because Tyler obviously hates the Jaguars because they're division rival, and hates Josh Allen in the other Josh Allen. So it's double whammy for Tyler. So GG for Tyler for going through with the punishment.
Very good, buddy.
Yes, good job, Tyler.
This also.
I expect to see that.
He found a
wear that every game from now on.
I will say that is, I mean, it looks good on you, Tyler, but also it is a disgusting jersey because of the fucking Jaguar on your stupid fucking shoulder right there.
Never knew that was a thing.
Yeah,
until I bought this jersey.
Yeah, we were talking about it. It's like we never really noticed that the Jaguars logo was on all of their uniforms have it like on their shoulder there. We went back and like looked at other pictures and it was like, yep, it's always been there. It's just never really noticed it.
Until until a non-football player is wearing it.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry, Tyler. If after a little bit you can just give it to Matthew because Matthew, the closeted Jaguars fan, will probably love it. So
closet.
We had no closet. I guess you're way out in the open, Jaguars fan now. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Do you want to move on to some post Super Wild Card round news, Jason?
Sure. Not a ton of things happened. Obviously, it's the playoffs. I don't think there were any big injuries off of the teams that are still in the playoffs. We saw the Eagles go down to the Bucks, and there's obviously rumors going around that Jason Kelce's going to retire. He said himself if he decides to retire, he's going to make an official announcement about it.
Yeah.
Because there were a bunch of reports.
Yeah, classic Adam Schefter being a dickhole and trying to break somebody's retirement without letting them do it themselves.
He's an insider. He's always going to be ready to type it up and I'm the first one to the news.
I get you're trying to break news, but like for people that are retiring, you should let them do that.
And
that's
also
not your
legends
job.
like that, like one of the best centers to ever play. He should have the ability to announce his own retirement.
Sexiest man.
Yeah, because now he can come back out of spite, like Tom Brady.
Yep. Yeah. People were saying that. People were saying because everybody likes Jason Kelce a lot more than Tom Brady. People were saying, I kind of get now why Tom Brady went back just to spite Adam Schefter because of how pissed off everybody was at Adam Schefter for doing the Jason Kelce stuff. So.
Yep.
I feel like if you get I feel like injuries in like coaching news is fine. I feel like retirement should be off limits. You should not talk about someone retiring.
Yes.
That is their job.
Especially he's also the one that fucking did the Andrew Luck, like forced Andrew Luck to come out that he was retiring before a fucking Colts game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he had to play the fans booing him and shit. That was Adam Schefter. Adam Schefter's he needs to stop being a piece of shit and announcing retirements like that because that turns the fan bases against you and everything and just the players and I don't know.
Regardless, I mean, do y'all think Jason Kelce's done?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I think so.
I think so too. Especially
he did give his jersey to his favorite McDonald's employee. So
yeah,
I will say, just seeing him talk with his coaches like after the game, like you tell he's very emotional, and it also it was rough to see how the Eagles season just fell apart like that. But overall, like I do think that if last year if they had actually won the Super Bowl, like they probably should have against the Chiefs, I think he would have been done then. And then this was, let's see how we do this year, and then, But I'll say, I'm going to tell you right now, if Jason Kelce doesn't return, I am not taking Jalen Hurts in fantasy because that team's going to be very different without him. He is the leader of that offensive line, and we know their offensive line has always been good with him. And then, I don't think the tush push will work nearly as well, and that's how you get Jalen Hurts fantasy points. So, it's crazy to see what's going on with him. But then also, he talked about it on his podcast too. He's like,
I watch his podcast a lot. I watch the New Heights podcast a lot because I don't like the Chiefs or the Eagles. I like the Kelce brothers. Like they're both very charismatic and fun to listen to. So I watched their podcast and I watched it this week. And the way he was talking, he got really choked up and emotional. It's pretty obvious that was his last game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going to come back. And I don't think he should come back. I mean, I know it fucking sucks that the people broke his retirement, but, I don't think Eagles are going to have a chance next year the way they were ended this year. I don't think they have a chance Super Bowl next year either. So, I guess we'll see. But also just
on a side note, I'm kind of surprised that their coordinators got invited to, coaching interviews just because of how much the Eagles fell apart.
No, season 1 and 6 is not a way that anybody wants to win.
Dan Quinn is still a hot interest for the Seahawks head coaching, even though the Packers literally pulled his pants down, and spanked him in front of the entire nation last week.
I think it's also more than that. I mean, I know there's a lot of people that are talking to the defensive coordinator of the Lions too. Aaron Glenn, I think his name is, and everyone's like, the Lions' defense isn't very good, so you wouldn't think that would be, their offense, of course, is amazing. We know that, but their defense is not the best. So everyone's like, why are we talking to them? I think it's the problem of just because you're, there's plenty of examples where they were just okay as a coordinator, but are able to be a really good head coach. And then there's examples where you have amazing coordinators that are terrible head coaches. So I don't know. It seems like teams don't put as much weight into that as fans would, of just, hey, that as a coordinator he wasn't good enough. Why do you think he should be a head coach? So
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know why there's interest. I think it's Brian Johnson is the offensive coordinator for the Eagles. I don't really know why people are interested in him, because I do think that offensive line alone just kind of carried that offense for as long as they did, and people just exposed the Eagles' offense in the second half of this season. Like, defenses knew how to beat them every game.
The Niners.
I guess
everybody how to do it.
I guess Bosa was right that he exposed the Eagles' offense. So anyway, what else we got?
The Browns, now that they are eliminated from the playoffs, they've started to clean house a little bit. They fired their offensive coordinator, Alex Van Pelt, their running back coach, Stump Mitchell, and tight end coach, T.C. McCartney. And apparently, the players are not happy that all those people got fired.
I don't get firing the offensive coordinator.
Those are the areas where the Browns were like, the tight end coach, fucking Njoku had a breakout year. Why the fuck would they fire the tight end coach?
Also, the OC had to deal with 3 quarterback injuries, a star running back injury, wide receiver injuries, and they did great. They made the postseason. I don't get firing him.
They rose Joe Flacco from the dead and fucking made the playoffs with Joe Flacco. I mean,
Stefanski should really be in that conversation for Coach of the Year, with how the Browns have been able to recover and everything. But then especially, I don't understand it either. I don't see why you would move on from any of those guys that once Deshaun Watson wasn't the quarterback, suddenly the whole team looked incredible. So obviously they got beat up by C.J. Stroud and the Texans, but that's just, the whole Texans thing is just unbelievable this year. So, and all of us picked the Browns. We are all wrong on that game. So for them to immediately go and fire all those people with how much everyone was seeing how good the Browns were this year just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, we have some more coaching news. We have a front runner for one team finally has emerged, which is the Falcons. And the front runner is none other than Bill Belichick. He's had 2 interviews with them, and he's expected to be their head coach.
They could blow a two interview lead, though.
We're gonna run that joke into the ground, aren't we?
We did that before the podcast. He had to do it before the podcast. It makes sense.
But yeah, do you guys think that he can fix Desmond Ridder?
No,
he needs a new quarterback. It's a good team other than Desmond Ridder. So
if he couldn't get Mac Jones to do anything, Desmond Ridder is not going to be the answer.
Falcons drafting Bo Nix. You heard it here first.
Depends on who he brings in at OC, since Bill O'Brien is no longer going to be part of that coaching staff.
Yeah, he's going to Ohio State. That's an interesting one. I think it seems like he's going to be the Falcons head coach. I do think it's funny, he brought up the blowing the lead or whatever, but I think I just like to imagine, this probably wasn't the case, but in my head, I'd like to imagine when he goes in for those interviews, he's wearing the Super Bowl ring where they came back and beat the Falcons. Yep. As just like, hey, fuck you, you should hire me. But I'll say, I think it seems like they're going to get Belichick at this point, which is not originally where I thought he would go, but with the way things have played out, it seems like that's where he's going to go.
And honestly,
they are a young team.
I don't really want that to happen for a purely selfish reason. The fact that we're, planning on going to the Seahawks Falcons game next year. And if Belichick's going to be the Falcons coach, I feel like the prices of the tickets might increase by a decent amount, especially if it's early season.
It could.
Yeah, that's what really.
And so that's what I said. I don't give a shit about the Falcons. If he coaches the Falcons, we don't play them that often. But I just don't want to have the tickets to be increased.
I do think. I mean, we know that we talked about it before, that the Falcons defense was pretty underrated this year. Like, no one really was talking about the Falcons defense, but they were pretty solid. And so we know Belichick will be able to probably make that defense even better. Because the Patriots' defense wasn't bad this year. It was just their offense was one of the worst things we've ever seen in our lives. So that was really what held them back. But, I mean, with those weapons on offense, as long as he gets an offensive coordinator that doesn't hate fantasy football like Arthur Smith as head coach did, maybe
I guess
you can actually get a decent Falcons team.
he could get Josh McDaniels, couldn't he?
You want him?
He could get him, but yeah, that's a great question.
Like,
Matthew.
McDaniels is one of
Would
those
you
guys
want
that he's probably better as an OC than he is. Well, he's definitely better as an OC than he is a head coach.
How about put this one on for size? Nick Saban as offensive coordinator.
He's not coming back. He's done.
He's still got an office in Tuscaloosa that he's open with the football program. So
no, I think he'll still be he'll still be involved in Alabama's stuff in some way. I've seen those rumors too, and I'm just like, that's stupid. I understand Belichick and Saban are buddies and all that, but no, I don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, I've got one more little thing, and then we can move on from news, and that is that the Raiders have removed Antonio Pierce's interim title, and he is now the team's head coach officially. So
they learned from their mistake from last year.
They don't have to worry about trying to get something good for Max Crosby, because he was going to try and get traded if they didn't hire him.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen a lot of people on Twitter say that that's the only good thing about hiring Antonio Pierce, is they don't have to give up Max Crosby. Apparently, a lot of people don't think Antonio Pierce is going to be a good head coach.
I mean, I don't know.
A lot better.
Yeah, it's better than it was. And I think it's more of a locker room thing for him, especially. I mean, you brought up Max Crosby, but Devontae Adams was also like, hey, y'all need to hire this guy. Just, it was a organization winning the locker room situation of give this guy a chance. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But, especially with how much better they looked after firing Josh McDaniels and having him in as interim head coach, you might as well give him a shot at this point. I think it was the right move.
Just don't give him a $100 million contract that is guaranteed.
Don't extend him for 6 years or something, and then have to pay him for that long. Don't do anything like that.
Speaking of big
doesn't he get a quarterback though? Because I don't think O'Connell's really the answer for him.
But speaking of big contract, one that I'm kind of nervous for, the Packers are apparently on the edge of a franchise-altering contract, which I believe they're going to try and sign Jordan Love to a massive deal. And as much as I love Jordan Love already, we talk all the time about how you shouldn't give a quarterback a huge deal after one good season. Make him play
also,
3 or 4.
Isn't he still under contract for another 2 years?
Maybe, but I don't know. That's what I'm assuming is what they're talking about. All the buzz around Jordan Love right now. And like I said, I love Jordan Love as of right now. I don't think it's a good idea.
I thought that this year, part of the reason they wanted to, they moved on from Aaron Rodgers and wanted to see what they had with Jordan Love this year is because they needed to decide if they were going to do the 5th-year option. Isn't he on his 5th-year option next year?
I think so, but
so at least they have that option. They don't have to immediately extend him. They can just do the 5th-year option instead and get one more year.
This might be his 5th-year option. I think this year might be his 5th-year option.
Yeah, I think so too. So I think that was part of why they wanted to see what they had. He's an example right now where, hey, maybe it's best to go ahead and draft your next quarterback and let him sit behind your main guy for a couple of years.
Yeah.
It's just what the Packers do at this point. They've gotten 3 franchise QBs in a row. It's like, fuck the Packers so much for just having such ease with quarterbacks.
Well, he's only got 3 years in the league, so y'all took him in the first round, right? So he should have 2 years left on his contract.
No, that's just what I keep seeing. Franchise-altering deal, and that's the only player I can think of. If they're talking about a coach, maybe Matt LaFleur getting a massive extension, but which I wouldn't matter about. Like, he's an awesome coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just keep seeing it, and it kind of makes me nervous. I don't know what they're planning.
After Deshaun Watson, I wouldn't really want to pay a quarterback a ton of money.
Yeah.
Y'all are gonna sign Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Make a lot of sense.
Yeah, you're gonna trade away Jordan Love and get Russell
Trade
Wilson.
away Jordan Love and get a first-round pick to where we get another quarterback in this upcoming draft.
There you go, and then you draft Bo Nix.
No, it's just gonna be a straight trade. Jordan Love for Russell Wilson.
You would trade teams.
Yes. I don't want
Bo Nix.
Do not want Bo Nix at all.
Tony's officially
watch Bo Nix be the next Tom Brady. You wait.
Maybe, but I don't want him on the Packers.
Yeah.
He's going to be Tom Brady's age by the time he actually plays in the NFL. So.
Yeah, that's true. He'll be younger than fucking what's his face? So Stetson Bennett.
Yeah.
Oh god. I saw there's a guy that's in this upcoming, or that's in this. He's coming back next year for his 9th year of college football.
Yeah.
That's crazy how that actually like worked because of the pandemic.
I mean, he's got to have like a wife and 3 kids.
Yeah.
And...
It's crazy that like it's not even because of the pandemic that he's able to do that. Is he's gotten a season-ending injury every single season he's played.
Maybe
that's what Gavin were talking about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Gavin said. He said, why would you not take the 7 injuries as a cue to, hey, maybe let's hang them up?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what is it going to take for you to just to give up on it?
How that works, though, right? Like, that guy can get like a medical waiver, but some dudes, they're like, no, you don't get an extra year.
Yeah. I don't know how that works.
We don't like you. Yeah,
I don't know.
It's just weird. Also, side note, I saw that Kadarius Toney is officially out for Sunday's game.
Yeah, we were talking about that, so maybe the Chiefs can actually win this game.
That's at least one less interception for the Bills.
Yep.
Anything else news-wise, Jason?
That's it.
Well, do we want to talk about? Oh, go ahead, Ryan. I'm sorry.
I saw something. I don't know. It's kind of like news that because there was like speculation after the Cowboys Packers game that Mike McCarthy will still be the Cowboys head coach next year.
It's confirmed.
Yeah, they've confirmed.
It's confirmed.
So like, but like there was talk. It was like they were gonna fucking put Belichick in there, like get Mike McCarthy out or something. It was about rumors last week.
Bold prediction for next year for the Cowboys. They end up getting the 1 seed in the NFC and still somehow lose in the first round with a bye. They find a way to do it.
They get deep.
There should be a new emergency NFL rule where the Cowboys have to go undefeated 2 seasons in a row before being allowed back into the playoffs.
Well, yeah. So do we want to talk about the games for the Super Wildcard round first? So which game we want to start out with?
We can just go.
I just want to say the memes for the Cowboys-Packer game were immaculate. Those were some of the best memes I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, might as well start with the Cowboys Packers. Yeah, I was seeing that picture of Jordan Love in the Cowboys costume going around.
Yeah.
I love how many times they panned to Jerry Jones and how just disgusted he was.
Which is why I thought they were gonna fire Mike McCarthy, because you think he was over there just think, all right, I'm fucking done with you, dude. But he likes his guys that are yes men, I think, and he doesn't want to try to hire a new coach.
My favorite thing that I saw from the memes is somebody took the Batman, the Dark Knight Rises thing where the plane was crashing, and he was like, Jerry Jones to Mike McCarthy's like, they expect you in the wreckage.
Yep.
You're not supposed to be here. This was so funny.
I just want to say, I've never watched a Packers team play so dominantly that I did on last Sunday. It was all around like just the best performance I've seen a Packers team have. Never watched us beat somebody that bad to where, I mean, it was 27-0 at the end of the first half. They couldn't do any. They couldn't. I don't think they stopped us but one time in the entire game, and they couldn't move the ball until garbage time. We put our backups in. I got a little nervous because they started getting close with our backups, but I just want to say, I'm hoping for the same result tonight. If it goes the opposite way, you might not see me again.
You're just done with the podcast, or done with life? What do you mean here?
Life, probably.
I say,
hey, but Aaron Jones owns the Cowboys.
I think the 49ers are a much better team than the Cowboys, though, especially the playoffs. So,
I was going to say, if you want the same thing to happen this week as last week, the Packers are going to have to play 3 times better tonight.
Regardless, though, both these teams lost to Kirk Cousins, so it's going to be a Lions-Bucks Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
One of two.
A Lions-Bucks Super Bowl? That's not possible.
Yeah, the winner's going to go to the Super Bowl, so it doesn't matter.
Okay. Lions or Bucks in the Super Bowl.
The 2 AFC games are going to end up in ties, so it's just going to be whoever makes it to the NFC Championship.
That's the Super Bowl.
That's the Super Bowl.
Look, it's gonna be the Packers beat the 49ers, and then they're gonna lose to the Lions in the NFC Championship game.
Oh.
That's the ideal NFC bracket for me right now.
Matthew does not appreciate your script, Tyler, at all.
It's not a good script. Did you watch the Thanksgiving Day game?
Yeah, that's why it's going to be good. It'll be a revenge game.
That's the best script because it's the 7 seed beats the 1 seed, so underdog story, and the Lions are the story team to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, if they win, that is the story. That is the script.
I'm not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying they can't make it to the Super Bowl.
That's the storyline, though. The best storyline is Packers upset and Lions go through.
Youngest team ever. Storyline, youngest team ever to make the playoffs, first 7 seed to ever win, goes on and wins the Super Bowl. That's the storyline.
But Matthew,
but it's the Packers.
Lost to Kirk Cousins.
I don't care if it's the Packers, Ryan.
I will say,
this isn't the Packers team that shit the Seahawks at some point that pissed you off. This is a completely different team. I don't even think we have a single player from that roster.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not mad at the Packers team itself. I'm just saying as a franchise, like you look on Twitter. Obviously, you're on like Packers Twitter and shit, but majority of like the NFL fans right now whose teams aren't in the playoffs are Lions fans right now. Like they are America's team right now, for the most part. What I've seen.
Matthew, basically, what Ryan is saying is kill yourself.
What the fuck? That's not what I'm saying at all.
All right, but let's
the Lions are everybody's favorite team right now.
Let's go back to this game for a minute. I just want to say, do you think, Matthew? I wanted to ask you about this. Do you think Joe Barry saved his job with this game, or is it going to depend on how this 49ers game goes?
I think over the last 3 weeks, what he did, he saved it. I still don't think he should be the defensive coordinator. It's going to go back to the same shit after this season. I'd have that feeling because that's how it's been for the past however many years he's been our defensive coordinator. These last 3 weeks, I think he has cemented it for at least another year, which, whatever. I mean, we're still winning games, so he might have lost us some games. But...
I will say, too, Aaron Jones played out of his mind in this game, too. And so not only was the run game working for the Packers, but also the passing game. He didn't quite have a perfect QBR, but it was damn close for Jordan Love. So
him and CJ Stroud have almost the exact same stat line.
Apparently, Jordan Love had the highest QBR in playoff history.
It's like 157 or something like that. So the highest is what, 158.3 or something. QBR doesn't make any sense, but. Pretty solid. I will say, Aaron Jones, I wish he could have played like this throughout the season.
Me too.
You had him in our fantasy league. I had him in the other fantasy league. I'm watching him like, why couldn't you have done this at all during the season?
You won your championship already.
I know, but it would have been easier, Ryan. It would have been easier.
Aaron Jones
would have been easier.
Would have been easier to get the first place I already got.
No, but I ended up being the 3 seed in the playoffs because I kept falling off, and Aaron Jones was hurt, and I didn't have a running back. It was a bad time at the end.
But
there.
everything that happened led to you getting the win. So
yeah.
I said on the podcast last week, Aaron Jones was on a 3-game, 100-yard streak. If we could get the run going, we were winning that game. He had another 100-yard game last week, 3 touchdowns. He's looking great, and he's just getting older. He's looking better than he did when he first got into the league, which is crazy to me.
instead of a game tonight, let's just get Aaron Jones and Nick Bosa to fist fight and see who wins.
I think I know the answer.
Yeah. All right. If y'all don't have anything else to add, let's move on to another game. How about the Ravens not Ravens Texans, the Texans Browns game?
Massacre.
The fucking.
There isn't much to say about this game except that Joe Flacco finally fell apart, and
he showed his age finally.
The Texans' offense was unstoppable.
I did think about it when right before the game started and the analysts were talking about it. I was like, that's a great point, is that even though Joe Flacco was playing out of his mind, every game he played, he was usually throwing at least 1 interception. And against the Texans, that came back to bite him real bad. He threw, 2 interceptions that were both pick sixes?
Back-to-back pick sixes.
Joe Flacco played like how we play in Madden, where it's just like, let's just fucking yank it, see what happens, and throw like double pick sixes in a row. That it felt like I was watching one of us play Madden with the Browns.
I will say, the second I admitted that Joe Flacco was elite, he started to suck. So it's my fault.
You never compliment anybody.
It was the thumbnail. It was the thumbnail, Steven.
Yeah,
we had the wrong North.
Shout out to our YouTube channel getting that video that I titled AFC North is going to dominate the playoffs with Joe Flacco in the thumbnail, and we immediately got a bunch of views on it, and the comments were all like, "Wow, this aged poorly." Yeah, fuck you guys.
Who's here after the Browns got demolished?
Yep.
Yeah,
which we got flamed.
I think it's great. Any fucking what is it? Any attention is good attention.
Any engagement,
any publicity is good publicity. I think is what you're looking for.
Everybody said a different one.
We advertised like several of this year's podcast episodes. I started with "Welcome to the podcast where we give shitty takes the entire time."
Yeah.
So I think that's like on brand for us.
We were going for clickbait anyway. We knew what we were doing.
I think we're doing something wrong. We're not being proven wrong in the comments.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I will say, wow, CJ Stroud is something else, man. He really is. Yep. He is incredible, and like we said, whoever designed that S2 cognition test or whatever the fuck it was that said he was going to be a terrible quarterback, fire that guy. Don't let him ever test anyone else. Just don't trust it.
I just want to say this. Because we were talking about the last video, I went and looked at the comments. This guy, shout him out, JGH Music. He says, "Put the Bucks in the thumbnail." In parentheses, I'm a Lions fan. So,
so he wants me to do that.
Yes.
All right,
we got him.
The Bucks are winning the Super Bowl again.
There we go.
That's
whatever his name was.
It would be good for Baker to be like a shove in the face of the Browns to lead a team to the Super Bowl, though.
The fact that he's been on 3 teams since last season is ridiculous.
Yeah. And it's crazy that next week he'll be in the NFC Championship game.
He won't though.
Will.
All he did
he'll be in the Super Bowl.
He made it 1 round, but all he did was basically decapitate the already dying body of an eagle. So,
and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to have a field day on the Lions secondary, just like Nakua did. But it's double.
Well, how about we move on to let's talk about the big game. Let's talk about the Bucks-Eagles game. What the fuck was that?
I already said my
I love the low-effort tackling from the Eagles the whole game.
This is another game that we don't really have to say much about it because it was a fucking massacre the entire way. I mean...
I think... no, go ahead, Jason. I think James Bradbury had to go.
I mean, it's just the the Eagles secondary. Like I've said for the second half of the season, it goes all the way back to when the Seahawks played the Eagles, and I picked the Seahawks, and I said that was why they were going to win. That's the reason that every team beat the Eagles in the second half of the season.
Block ruined the Eagles franchise.
That was, I will say, Jason, that is why I was very surprised that you picked the Eagles to beat the Bucks.
See, I wanted to switch my pick, but I felt like if I did and it was a sweep, it might have cursed the Buccaneers. Because look at the Browns. We all picked the Browns, and what happened to them? They got fucking slaughtered. Yeah. So I took one for the team.
Well, spoiler alert, we have another sweep this week, so we're gonna see how that goes.
You're going for.
Yeah.
Well, so you might want to switch in games where the Ravens don't win, or so the Ravens win.
I will say, yeah, the Eagles' downfall was just terrible, and I swear that secondary, like you said, it wasn't just their coverage that was bad; their tackling was terrible. You know, even if they were in coverage, they just let the guys run away from them, and I'm like, what are you doing?
It looked like they weren't trying.
Yeah, it really did.
Also on offense, their communication seemed to be way off. I mean, their fucking chemistry seemed to. The fucking losses were taking the toll on them as like a team. I think with the chemistry with each other. I mean, you saw. I'm sure most people saw Dallas Goedert like yelling at Jalen Hurts on the sideline. Like there was shit going down on that sideline with the offense.
The AJ Brown effect.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing I'll say is that the Eagles Super Bowl window has closed. They will not win a Super Bowl for the next 5 years.
I love that people kept bringing up that Nick Sirianni clip after they lost, where he was like talking shit in the Chiefs tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
After they beat the Chiefs.
God, yeah.
And they were 1 in 5 or 6 since he did that. So
1 in 6.
Yeah.
It was honestly one of the hardest downfalls I've seen of a team being so good. Hell, they were what did they start this season?
10-1.
10-1.
Yeah, that's insanity. To go to the Super Bowl, start the next season 10-1, and then finish 1-6 is just abysmal.
Mm-hmm.
That Kevin Byard trade looked so much better after.
Yeah,
we traded him to
KB did not. He is not playing well in Philly at all. It's really bad. I mean, he has had like a couple interceptions, but he hasn't been good at the other part of the job. Mostly the coverage and the tackling has not been very good for KB.
I love that people keep bringing up the AJ Brown graphic too. That was a big thing on Titans Twitter, where it was like, things are different here. Winners. It's an AJ Brown quote after they got Kevin Byard.
Yeah.
Winners.
It aged well. It really did.
Yeah, exceptionally well.
Well, let's talk about another downfall. How about the Dolphins this year? Remember, at one point they had the 1 seed. They ended up losing their division.
I mean, yeah, they lost the 1 seed, which gave them lost their home field advantage. But I 100% think any like regular weather stadium other than the fucking negative 30 degrees they had, the Dolphins would have beat the Chiefs. I think the reason it was negative 30 degrees was the only reason the Chiefs won that game.
Also, the fact
trying to go ahead.
I was say the Chiefs have a winning record, so the Dolphins didn't have a chance.
That's true. Yeah. Well, they debunked that. They beat somebody with a winning record towards the end of the season.
Yeah, they beat one team.
The funny thing though is if they either beat the Titans on Monday Night Football or beat the Bills last weekend or the weekend before like the playoffs, they would have been playing Pittsburgh in Miami. They could have definitely won that game.
Yeah, I think they would. The Steelers being in the playoffs at all was just stupid.
I mean, would they have won that game though? Because the Steelers made it a game against the Bills towards the end.
Good.
They never let the Bills really get away.
It would have been in Miami, so it wouldn't have been frigid.
I will say too, I do think a lot. See, I actually disagree. I think the Chiefs probably still could have won. If it was an Arrowhead and it was normal weather, I still think the Chiefs could have beat the Dolphins, mostly because the Dolphins' defense got beat up at the end. They had lots of injuries. A lot of their big players were out.
Yeah.
But I do think it would have been a much closer game. Tua is terrible in the cold. He's always been terrible in the cold.
He had like a 15 QBR rating.
Yeah, it was bad.
That's
I don't think he would have been.
disgusting.
I mean,
He
he would have
probably-
been a lot better in normal weather, but even still, I just don't know. Especially
Yeah.
with Rashee Rice really proving that he is a solid wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs. I still think the
Yeah.
Chiefs would have won, but
He should probably practice in the offseason in like the coldest place possible.
Yeah, they need to take his ass to Antarctica and make him start throwing.
They go to Russia.
Just go to the North Pole.
Summer at Santa's workshop, a little internship.
Just-
And he's in a division with a bunch of cold teams, so he needs to figure out how to play in the cold.
It's almost like the Dolphins, based in Miami, should not be in the AFC East, and it's
Yep.
never made sense.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
They should put the Colts in the East, and the fucking Dolphins should be in the South.
I mean, why are the Cowboys in their division?
Just to
Look at
hold
all-
the Eagles
look at-
rivalry. That one's stupid.
Look at all the teams that are in that division, and then
Oh, yeah,
the
no,
Cowboys.
But that like reason only is for that fucking Eagles Cowboys rivalry. Like the Dolphins don't
I-
have a rivalry like that.
Still,
Oh, it's stupid.
just
I mean,
schedule them
for a
every
while,
season.
fucking St. Louis was in the NFC West, so
Yeah.
they really should.
There's all
restructure
kind of
the
weird,
divisions more
weird
often.
divisions. None of
Like-
them's worse than the Dolphins being that far away from them.
Because every other team is like up by New York.
Mhm.
I did see somebody like
Well,
make the divisions again, and I don't remember who it was that made the video or whatever, but it was really funny because he made like he called one of the divisions AFC Florida, and it was just all the Florida teams, and then I think he had like AFC New York, and it had all the New York teams, but yeah, the divisions don't really make sense. You have a bunch of teams that are like real close together, and like yeah, that makes sense, and then you got one team that's like million miles away from the others. So it's just weird how they do it.
Our division
Off,
makes so much sense.
season idea for the podcast. We all restructure the NFL how we think it should be.
That'd be
and
cool,
compare.
yeah.
Put it in the
You gotta-
podcast ideas so we don't forget. Do it now.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
I'm making the Seahawks in their own division with just the 49ers, just us two.
It's just y'all play
We can
each
lose
other
every year?
3 times.
Yeah. No, I would hate that actually. Especially currently because 49ers are better than the Seahawks.
Well,
All right, let's talk about a different game now.
how about the
Yeah.
Bills Steelers game? We sort of briefly talked about the Steelers shouldn't have been in the playoffs. Partially, yeah, like Ryan said, you're welcome for that because they beat the Seahawks. But then also, the only reason they still got in is the Titans beating the Jaguars. So that's also our fault too. But
That is the only reason that my bold prediction of the Jags win the Super Bowl didn't come true. I actually think it was the Jags just going to the Super Bowl. That was my bold prediction.
You,
That's the only
you
reason.
said Super Bowl run. You didn't
That's what it
specify.
was.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Only reason because
think
the
what
Titans
caused the
won and the
downfall-
Seahawks lost.
I think what really caused the downfall of the Jags is they didn't improve any from last year. They just kept the same
Yeah.
roster.
But
I just think the Bills' offense is better than the Steelers' offense, and I think that's what really did it in the end. The Bills did try and throw it away in the second half, though, because the Steelers came back and made it a game for a little bit, and then the Bills wound up running away with it again at the end. So the Bills need to be careful against Kansas City, because if they let Kansas City hang around, we already know Mahomes is going to fucking find a way to win this game somehow. And no one wants that except for Chiefs fans.
I think
So-
it's going to come down to Josh Allen not throwing a bunch of picks because we know that's how he gets.
And
Josh
how-
Allen, if you're listening, please do it for America.
Not the
And,
Josh Allen that's on Tyler's jersey, the other one.
No, the other.
It also depends on how
You're
much
not clutch.
the Chiefs want to, or not the Chiefs, the refs want to give the game to the Chiefs. You know how much they decide to let the Chiefs get away with.
Yeah, I don't even want to watch that game
is in
because
Buffalo,
I feel like if I watch that game, it's gonna go the Chiefs' way the entire time because I don't like them. So, but I'm going to watch it because it's one of the last few games of the season.
Is that when is that game? Is that tomorrow?
It's
Monday night.
tomorrow at 5:30.
What's the afternoon game today? Is that Ravens,
It is-
Texans
Yeah,
It's the Packers 49ers.
that's
Yeah,
Packers
that's-
49ers tonight.
tonight. Yeah, but
Ravens and
Ravens
Texans
Texans is in like 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah.
We'll be playing D&D, so we'll have it on in the background while we play,
Nice.
I guess. All right, then.
Don't tell everybody that we're just big losers.
No, they need to know so that they don't trust any of our takes. They should know that by now.
You know that
I was going to say they shouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah.
that makes me want to bring up another idea I had, but I'll bring it up after the podcast.
Doing
Okay.
D&D football season.
No,
Go ahead and put it in the chat, but we'll look at it afterwards.
Roll for pass.
So the last game that we got to talk about, and honestly, it was by far the best game in the Super Wildcard weekend, was the Rams-Lions game. The revenge game. Both teams looked good. The Lions did win, only by 1 point. It was a close game, but it was awesome. Every other game was basically a blowout except this one. So, what did y'all think about the Rams-Lions?
Was disappointed because the Rams didn't win. As
Opposite
Steven
for me.
was also on the Rams bandwagon.
Mm-hmm. I was.
They got outplayed. Jared Goff played amazing. I mean, they were just humming on every cylinder for the
Yeah.
Lions. And Campbell had them out there playing this next week. So, and I want to hate Dan Campbell, but I can't.
I really, truly don't know who's going to win Coach of the Year. I was really thinking it was going to be Steichen or D'Amico Ryans. Obviously, Dan Campbell was in there. I think it's going to depend on how the Texans play today and how the Lions play, I guess, tomorrow. Lions play tomorrow? Yeah. So it may come down to that, who wins Coach of the Year, because, I mean, I was really thinking it was going to be D'Amico Ryans after they beat the Colts, but then also just watching all of Dan Campbell's like speeches. I feel like if you're a player for him, you want to run through a wall for that guy. So it's something else. So I'm really overall. I know I said I was on the Rams bandwagon. I am very happy for the Lions. I'm happy they finally got a playoff win at home. They haven't ever gotten to do that. So
With the Lions' success, I hope it changes some things, because I know the Lions have a staff that's heavy on like NFL veterans in like coaching positions, which I think makes a lot of sense to me. So I hope that makes a change, that they start doing that more often.
Like that about the Lions team is that they use older players. It just makes sense. Have people who actually played in the game for a long period of time. They know the ins and outs of everything, but at the same time, there's been players come in and they just are horrible. These are DCs, aka what's his name for the Chargers?
Staley,
old quarterback. I can't.
Oh
No, the old quarterback.
Oh, Kellen Moore.
No, Ellen Moore. That's it.
Ah, gotcha. I'm with you now.
Yeah, obviously I was very happy with this win because Rams are, for the reason that Matthew's not happy with this win is why I'm happy with this win. But I'm very worried, not about this for the Lions and shit, but in general for the future of the NFC West, in that the Rams should be feel the repercussions of all, like they're basically getting the fucking Hollywood team to win the Super Bowl a few years ago. At this point, they should be on the downtrend, but they're fucking not. They got Puka Nacua and Kyron Williams, and they're not going to go down at all. And now, we're losing our head coach, and we're kind of like falling down a little bit. And I feel like the NFC West is about to be one of the toughest divisions again in the next few years. I'm not looking forward to that.
I do think there was a chance. I think another thing that really helped the Lions in this game was Kyron Williams getting hurt.
Oh yeah.
I think that could have that played a huge factor at the end of that game. I think because that greatly affected the Rams' ability to move the ball. Stafford still played out of his mind. Puka Nacua had a hell of a game.
Was great. I love Puka Nacua, honestly. Like he's my
it's hard not to root for Puka Nacua with what he's been doing. So, but yeah, just great game. That's all I got to say about it at this point.
All right, should we? Anybody else have anything else? about this game?
Nope.
Should we
All right.
move on to the next week's or brackets?
Yeah, we got to do brackets, but yeah, if you're watching this, go and watch the post game. Dan Campbell giving away the game balls to their GM and Jared Goff. It's a great watch. Like I said, you'll see why Dan Campbell should absolutely be in Coach of the Year conversations.
Inspirational.
All right, but yeah, let's move on. So of course this is the bracket. I've shown it a couple times while we've been doing the podcast, but obviously all of us were wrong about several things here. Starting off with it's not letting me do it. Hold on. There we go. Starting off with me. For what I got wrong, obviously I picked the Browns and they lost to the Texans. Got the Chiefs and the Bills right. The Bucks right, and that's it. Those were my three. So, Ryan, you want to explain what you did here?
Yeah, so I just modified the existing brackets. Obviously, check marks means you get the game right of the existing games, and then I put an X on, obviously, if you get it wrong, and then I went farther down the line and put X's on any impossible wins by this point. Like, Steven picked the Cowboys go to the NFC Championship, and that is obviously impossible now.
Correct.
So I did X there, and then so we have our actual score in the bottom right, and you have the max points that you can score still on your bracket in the bottom left, because we're doing, once again, 1 point for every single of the games last week, 3 points for this week, 5 points for the NFC and AFC championship, and 10 points through correctly doing the Super Bowl winner.
Yep.
So each week I'll update the brackets so we can kind of like if you do March Madness brackets,
Yeah.
Where you see the max points and stuff.
Yeah. Obviously the one that luckily the Cowboys one hurt me really bad. I was still very happy for the Packers, and I thought it was very funny that the Cowboys once again choked the playoffs. But overall, yeah, it hurt my bracket real bad. And then luckily, even though I said I'm on the Rams bandwagon, I only had them going to the this round. I wasn't going to get them to the championship, so that didn't hurt too bad. So I think I'll still be okay. It's just going to depend on, of course, how the 49ers do this week.
We'll see ahead. You're, I think you're in the top half of our podcast for still points you can get, max points.
Yeah,
you're in the top half.
Let's move on to Jason's. So, so right now Jason's got,
very similar brackets. So we got Steven and Jason have the most similar brackets by far. Like nobody's even close to them.
Yeah, no. When I sent it to Jason, I was like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Looks pretty good to me."
The difference is Jason picked the Eagles and the Super Bowl winner. That's literally the only difference.
Yes.
Yep.
But looking at Jason's, what do you think, Jason? So you got 2 points, and then you got a max of 31. So you're very similar to me. It's just the Bucks. The Bucks hurt you compared to me.
I don't have to worry about who wins the Lions-Bucks game. It doesn't affect me at all.
Yep.
So I'm happy about that. And I mean, I'm worried. I am very worried about the Chiefs-Bills game because I want to get that one right, but I'm not very confident in it.
So at least I think you'll be fine points wise if the Bills get wrong. I don't think many people have the Bills stopping at this point, or at least have the Chiefs moving on. I don't think anybody has the Chiefs moving on to the championship, do they?
I don't think so for the Bills, but
yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. We've got Tyler's bracket. He's got a score of 2, max of 20. His took a huge hit.
The only team Tyler has left is the Ravens. Literally every team else is out of his. So, and
That's crazy.
Sorry, Tyler. I went in and did the a little bit of stats and math and stuff. A little bit spoiler, but it is impossible for you to win the bracket challenge at this point already because you only have 2 points and you have the Ravens winning out. Where me and Gavin both have 3 points and also have the Ravens winning out. So no matter what, me and Gavin are going to get more points than you. So
you can get third
Tyler.
Place though.
You can get third place, but you are officially you cannot win the bracket challenge already after week 1.
Oh no,
that is crazy.
I had forgotten that you had the Rams going all the way to the Super Bowl. Ouch.
He did have a very outlandish bracket.
He did.
But props to him.
No, we know Tyler likes to be wacky with his picks, though.
But I say it's funny though. He had that latest bracket, except for the fucking upsets that really happened, like the fucking Packers beating the Cowboys and the Texans beating the Browns. Even though it wasn't technically an upset, it's kind of an upset. But yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the next one. We've got Ryan's bracket. Ryan's got 3 points, max of 35. He's looking pretty good.
I'm currently in the lead for max points because I'm the only person that has all 4 teams going to the championship round still possible to go to the championship round.
Oh.
Everybody else has at least one person gone now, and all of the ones I got wrong, had them losing this week, so it didn't actually affect me that badly. So, like I said, I still don't have this. It obviously isn't a guaranteed that I'm winning. It's just I have the highest chance right now. But that relies on the Lions going to the Super Bowl. So, I'm still kind of that's the game I'm most worried about is the fucking Lions game. Hands down.
I would say you'd be
the AFC side's pretty set.
I would say I would be a lot more worried for you, Ryan, if you had picked the Lions to actually win the Super Bowl. You have the Ravens winning. I think there's a better chance that the Ravens at least make it here than the Lions, I guess. I would think. But
yeah. The thing comes down to, obviously, I just knocked my desk, shook everything. Don't worry, not an earthquake. Just hit my desk.
Alabama earthquake.
Obviously, if y'all watched last week, every single one of us picked either the Ravens or the 49ers to win the Super Bowl. So if one of those two wins, it's literally going to be out of the people the half of us who picked that team, who's going to win out of those 3. I think 3 of us picked Ravens, 3 of us picked 49ers.
It's 4 of us picked the Ravens.
4, okay. So yeah. If the Ravens win, it's out of the 4 of us is going to win. If the 49ers win, it's one of the 2 of them. But if they're both out, it's much more up in the air about who's going to,
I do think, Ryan, if it comes down to the Ravens and 49ers, since I picked the 49ers and you picked the Ravens, we'll say that's our tiebreaker for the regular season stats.
I'll agree to that the week before, just in case because of injuries and shit. We don't know what could happen.
Fair enough. Yeah,
so
we still haven't figured out. We're going to decide how we're going to decide this the week of the Super Bowl.
If both teams are healthy going into it, I'm down for that, Mm-hmm. But yeah, we'll just see. I don't want to commit to it 3 weeks before.
It's funny, though, if that happens, you're going to hate the 49ers even more if they win.
It's the worst day of my life. Like I said, there's nothing I want more than the 49ers to not make it a Super Bowl. Because, it still has a possibility. So we had the worst Super Bowl in my memory was the fucking Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl like a few years back. That was like by far the worst that it could have fucking happened. And I hate the Super Bowl anyway. It was a boring Super Bowl. It fucking sucked. I didn't even watch it that year really. I think we were over at like Justin's house or something for that year.
I think we were at your house.
We're at my house?
I think so.
I don't remember. I remember we played games instead of actually watching the Super Bowl because it was so fucking boring.
Yeah.
But yeah, that can still happen, and I fucking hate that can still happen this year. Because I don't want Chiefs 49ers like that is the worst thing that could happen at this point. Now the Chiefs are the dynasty, not the Patriots. But yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next bracket. Gavin's bracket. Of course, Gavin's not here, but he has a score of 3 and max of 32. His is looking pretty decent too, because he also had the Lions going pretty far.
Yep. Yeah, me. So it's currently. I'll do the overall at the end. Actually, yeah. Continue on. Sorry.
I'm letting you go ahead.
But yeah. So Gavin has Ravens winning out. Me and Gavin actually have pretty similar brackets. It's just he has the 49ers beating the Lions. So that's literally the only difference in mine and Gavin's bracket right now. We're tied for score, but basically if the 49ers and Lions both make it and the 49ers do win, he has a much better chance at beating. Actually, he probably will beat me. I think if the 49ers and Lions win this week, I'm pretty sure whoever wins the NFC Championship will determine who wins between me and Gavin ahead of each other. It's not guaranteed one of us will win the whole thing, but because we have now, AFC side is pretty much set already. So
yeah, but he also picked the Browns to go pretty far, and that hurt him. So
yeah, it's true. So, but right now, like kind of the rivalries we've got it's kind of funny. It's kind of mirroring a little bit like kind of late mid-season of the picks of regular season. We have Jason and Steven kind of battling it off for one position. They're going to be close. Me and Gavin will be close, and then Matthew and Tyler are going to be kind of close at the bottom right now. So
some things never change, right?
Yep.
for the podcast.
The more things
the
change,
Browns
the more
pick
they stay
really
the
hurt
same.
me.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well let's move on to Matthew's bracket.
Go ahead and look at it.
Yikes!
Not a bad
Yikes!
You have 4 more possible points than Tyler does. So.
All right,
Nice.
so yeah, Matthew has a score of 3, max of 24 because he got the Browns going all the way to the Super Bowl.
That hurts.
Yep.
You are
All you got left is the 1 seeds. That's literally it.
After,
1 seeds are all.
after tonight, though, his bracket's wrong after the Packers beat the 49ers.
That's true. Then you're fine. That's one thing. I guess you don't really you probably care more about the Packers winning than the 49ers. Than your bracket.
I don't care. I do not give a fuck about this if the Packers win.
Yep. If the Packers win, you're gonna get at max 6 points in your bracket.
I don't care. Doesn't matter.
I will say, I'm wondering, across the board, people that go on these websites and make these brackets for competitions and stuff like that, like people do for the March Madness and stuff. I wonder what the percentage of people actually, like, let's say the Packers win against the 49ers. The fact that people, alone having the Packers beat the Cowboys probably killed like 90% of the brackets. What is the percentage of still correct brackets with the Packers beating the 49ers? It's got to be like less than 1% by like a long bit.
I don't know about the bracket portion of it, but I did see 5% of bets for that game are for the Packers to win. For bet MGM.
I would honestly love it. Like I said, I would fucking love the 4. I'm going. This is like the week where I will be the biggest Packers fan in forever. Is like this week.
It's not gonna happen like last week. If we win, but if we win, it's gonna be by a hair. We're not gonna dominate the 49ers.
How much is the 49ers favored in this game? Like
9.5. Is it 10 now?
10.
I think I would still, I said it last week about the Cowboys-Packers game that because of the spread, I would take the Packers. I didn't expect the Packers to win, but in the betting side, I would have taken them on the spread. I think I would take the Packers again for the spread on that.
Yeah, ESPN has it.
I don't think we're gonna get dominated.
Yeah, ESPN has it at 10, and then the other game that's like that is the Ravens-Texans, and that's at 9.5.
Yeah.
The rest of the games are pretty close on the bets.
But yeah.
Oh, I forgot that you picked the Steelers to beat the Bills, Matthew.
Yeah.
Looking at this.
Yeah.
And now that we've seen all of everybody's brackets, so I think currently it's me, Gavin, and Matthew with 3 points tied for the lead. I think, and then Steven and Jason had 2, and Tyler had 1, or maybe you might have to go back and check. But
yeah, here, let me. Oh shit! Sorry, hold
on. So max points everybody has is 3.
3.
Steven has 3. Okay, so Jason and Tyler have 2. The rest of us have 3. That's what it is. So it's a close race. We're all 1 point away. Max points wise, though, I'm at the top. Then it's Gavin and Steven tied. Then Jason, then Matthew, and then Tyler.
Yep.
But once again, that's just max points. Actual scores were all right by each other. So
the longer we went on in that segment, and the more you talked about points, the more confused I got.
You're welcome. That's kind of my whole thing.
He's the math guy.
Like I won't even lie to you. I tuned out for a good portion of that because I was just getting confused.
You're welcome.
Well, you know how the point system works, Jason.
I know,
3,
but
5,
the way he's like, oh, well, if this happens, then this person gets this amount of points more than this person. Like, it all blended together and confused me.
The only important stat, really, is that Tyler can't win.
Okay.
That's the only
I got that.
All right, well, let's move on. We've got you were right. Oh, shit. There we go. You were right, we were wrong.
Go away from it. You saw it for a second.
You were right, we were wrong. The Packers beating the Cowboys.
We've talked about it plenty. I won't make you sit in here any longer, but it does feel good.
I will own up to me having one of the absolute worst takes last week when I said the Packers were gonna, or the Lions were gonna wipe the fucking floor with the Packers and put up 60 points against them.
The Lions didn't play the Packers.
Whatever I said.
You meant Cowboys. We knew what you meant.
Yeah, but yes,
I said that's a dumb take,
and it was. No, you were right. I'll admit that. I admit when I'm wrong.
Is Jordan Love trying to tickle that dead cowboy?
Look, I tried to line it. I tried to line it up where he was pointing to the Packers and then Matthew was pointing to the Cowboys. That's just where the dead cowboy ended up. But I think my favorite is a very big Dak head choking.
And he's just got a very very pale arms.
He definitely did that. Was choke. Also, him and CeeDee Lamb were not on the same page the entire game.
Dude,
so
no, Matthew. When I joined the Discord when Ryan and Jason were in the Discord during that game, and I joined, and I was like, "So did CeeDee Lamb sleep with Dak's wife or something? Like, what's going on?"
Because they had to.
They were not on the same page. Like they've been the entire year. They've been playing outstanding together, and it's just like all of a sudden
they had like a week off or anything.
Yeah, no, I was shocked.
Just
CD dropped like 4 passes in the first half. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It was something else.
Can't win games like that.
But congrats to you, Matthew. I know you were very happy about this.
I was very, very happy.
It does help when Dak throws like 2 picks as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It does.
Got him to 11 picks on the year, right?
Yes, sir. Hey, ruined his prediction of saying he was going to have less than 10 picks.
Sure did.
Do you think he went and was like, "Hey, I was talking about the regular season, guys.
Yep.
Don't count the season."
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on.
Man.
Let's move on to our first game we need to talk about for this week in the divisional round. We got the Texans taking on the Ravens.
What the fuck is that?
It's a male thong.
So this is a Ravens clean sweep. Everyone picked the Ravens.
Learn our lesson from last week.
That's exactly what I was gonna say when we talked about it earlier. We didn't learn our lesson. We all picked against the Texans, and of course they won. But yeah, we still did the same thing here because they're playing the Ravens. Yes, Matthew. I asked about this too. I was like, "Is this something kinky? What are we looking at here?" And he said it was a thong.
So
a male thong. Male thong.
I'm hoping, even though we would all get it wrong, I think it would be better for the Texans to beat them.
Yeah.
But I don't trust it, so I'm not going to switch my
Please, Ravens, don't lose this game. I don't know if I can deal with the Texans winning the Super Bowl or something. Like, I just can't deal with that.
It's either going to be Ravens. It's either going to be Ravens had the week off and they're going to be sluggish, or they had the week off and they're going to be fully prepared, 100% ready to go. So, figure out which Ravens team that is in about an hour.
Were you about to ask something, Jason?
No, I was just gonna say, basically, whoever wins this game is who I'm going for in the playoffs for the rest of the playoffs.
Fair enough.
I'll let take more. But say I used to like the Ravens, and then they whipped our ass this year, and so I'm not a fan of the Ravens that much anymore. So
they've done that to a lot of teams, though, Ryan.
Yeah, no, but we historically we don't get our ass beat that bad
typically,
usually. And
yeah,
that was the worst. That was Pete Carroll's worst loss of his entire career. I'm pretty sure, the Seahawks.
And we lost to the Texans twice this year, so obviously not a big Texans guy right now. Not a big fan. And one time wasn't even with C.J. Stroud. It was Case Keenum was the guy who beat us.
Yeah.
In overtime.
Ryan Tannehill cost us that game.
Yeah.
August didn't hold an extra point.
Yeah. Ryan Tannehill in special teams ended up hurting us, not even as quarterback. So talk about a weird game that was. But yeah, isn't it, you'll probably know better than me, Jason. Is Mark Andrews going to play, or is he still out?
He's active. He fully participated in practice this week.
Okay. I thought I saw that something about him being out still, but even still, I mean, they have Isaiah Likely, so he's still a good tight end. He took the role as tight end 1 fine in the last bit of the stretch of the season, but I do think if Mark Andrews plays, I feel even better about picking the Ravens here.
Oh, never mind. They are not going to play him in this game.
I'll still
stick
with it.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
It Likely almost cost me my fantasy Super Bowl, because like if he got like one more big catch,
Likely story.
Yeah.
Gavin picked up Isaiah Likely in our fantasy league, and I know we had both put in a waiver for him, and he got to him before me. I was like, shit. Because I felt like I really needed to make an adjustment to my tight end since Goddard was out and Kittle wasn't doing as much at that point in the season. So I was just, yeah. But I do think this will still be a good game, and the Ravens should be careful with the Texans. We've seen what they can do when they're counted out. So, all right. Anything else, guys?
Texans.
I didn't realize that Lamar's career playoff numbers were so bad. He's 1-3 with 4 total touchdowns, 7 turnovers, and they average 13 points per game. Oof.
Do you want to switch your pick?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Let's move on.
I think that narrative's over with.
Not that it really matters. We're just doing this for fun. All right. So moving on, we got the Packers taking on the 49ers, and Matthew was not alone this time on picking the Packers.
Let's go, Tyler.
Tyler joined you. Everyone else picked the 49ers. So what are you thinking, Matthew? We'll start off with you, buddy.
I hope. That's pretty much it. We have to find a way to stop Christian McCaffrey, most importantly. And even with stopping Christian McCaffrey, you have to find a way to slow down Bo Samuel. It's going to be a tough task. They're fighting, trying to climb up the hill. They're not going to be an easy win. If we can play on offense like we did last week, get turnovers on defense, we win this game. That's all that we have to get. We have to get stops and we have to get turnovers, and we have to score on pretty much every drive. And that's just it sounds very basic, but that's what we're gonna have to do. This isn't the team that they can go and score first. We have to get the ball, go down and score, and have them come from behind. I'm very nervous. We'll end up crying because we have to lose the 49ers again in the playoffs, but we'll see. I'm hopeful, but I'm very nervous.
Battle of the oval logos.
I would be very nervous if I were you, because I just looked at the depth charts to see if there were injuries, and the 49ers are 100% healthy. So they are coming at you full force off of a bye, which could,
In Levi.
Like you were saying with the Ravens, they could come out and be rusty to start because they had the bye week. But if they come out fully healthy and firing on all cylinders, it is going to be a hard-fought battle the entire game for the Packers to try and win this game.
I think
it's gonna come down to the final play on this game. This is not gonna be unless the 49ers end up blowing us out, which that's the other ultimatum for us. It's either we're gonna win or we're gonna get just demolished. But if we win, it's gonna come down the wire.
I did see that Shanahan said that as soon as the in the second half even of the Cowboys Packers game, he was already preparing for the Packers. So they're gonna be ready for you.
The thing that I took away the most from last week, Jordan Love's press conference after the game when they interviewed him on field, he said, "We came into this game thinking we were going to dominate, and that's what we did." To have that mentality, if they win today, thinking that they're already behind, you might as well already chalk it up. They have got to come in full confidence that they're going to win this game. I'm so nervous. I'm so unbelievably nervous for this game.
All right. Yeah, I still stand by last year. Obviously, I was happy for the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, but I still think if the 49ers had stayed healthy, I think they would have won that game last year. So if the 49ers can stay healthy, they're going to be hard to stop. And I do think if any team can, it's the Ravens in the Super Bowl. But yeah, them being that healthy is pretty insane thinking about it, with just how bad this season has been for injuries for pretty much every team in the league. I know they've had some still too, but I think this, I think this could still be, like I said, I would probably still take the Packers here on the spread. I just still don't know if they can beat the 49ers.
15.
Anybody else? Nope. All right. Moving on. We got the Buccaneers taking on the Lions. And honestly, I'm surprised too, Matthew.
I'm in shock.
Everyone picked the Lions except for the Buccaneers, except for Matthew, who picked the Buccaneers. Sorry,
everyone picked the Lions except for the Buccaneers.
Look, I had a stroke. Okay, give me a break. All right, everyone picked the Lions except for Matthew, who picked the Buccaneers. There we go, nailed it. Only took me 20 tries. I actually considered this one going the other way because the whole reason I picked the Bucs to beat the Eagles is because of the Eagles' defense not being that great. I can see Mike Evans and Godwin having a big game against the Lions' defense too. But for me, this was 100%. I'm kind of rooting for the Lions now.
But so this is. I'm not surprised by this at all. What the picks are, because I mean, yeah, the Lions defense is very good, but the Lions offense is like 70 times better than the current Eagles offense. Like the Eagles offense as of the end of the year was dog shit, and they weren't good. And so I think the Lions offense is just, they can make up for the bad defense easily. And obviously Matthew's going to be against the Lions because it's his divisional rivals.
Picked the Lions a couple of times. I just don't think they're going to win this game. I don't think their defense is good enough to keep up with the Bucs offense.
Lions offense out trumps the if this is a shootout, there's no defense on the field at all. I still think the Lions win. Their offense is better than the Bucs offense.
I can't imagine how loud this game is going to be. Like I saw that the tickets for this game were outrageously expensive.
The cheapest are like 1,100.
Yeah, Lions fans are gonna
shit like that.
Lions fans are showing up for this game. It's gonna be loud. The biggest thing I think that's also gonna help the Lions here. There were a couple times it happened last week where the Rams had to take a timeout because they couldn't communicate because they couldn't hear each other. I could see that being a factor in this game, where maybe the Bucs have to burn a timeout early, and maybe they needed that timeout to stop the clock at the end of the game. Something like that could factor into this game because of that. So that's another reason why I feel better about picking the Lions.
The weather could be a factor too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that reporter asking the Bucs head coach about that, and he's like, "They play inside." I don't know why that would matter.
Make
That
traveling.
reporter should get fired.
It could make travel to the stadium a little bit tougher. You know, could play a factor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they don't make it there because of weather, technically, do they have to forfeit?
I think so. Yeah, that would be a forfeit. I was on the fence
the
about
walk.
this game.
The walk from the bus to the stadium is what's going to get the Bucs.
Yeah, I was on the fence about this game, and I'm falling over to the other side of the fence, I think.
You want to switch?
I think I'm switching.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm on the Baker Mayfield train. Give me the Ravens Bucks Super Bowl.
Okay. Well, we said that our
winner this game, it's gonna go to the Super Bowl.
No, it's not.
We did say that we said that the Bucks are going to win the Super Bowl is going to be our title for this episode. So,
Matthew, how dare you try to take away Kirk Cousins' legacy?
It's honestly like I want to hate on the stats so much, but it's true. It's 100% true.
It's insane.
You can still hate on it.
I don't think the Bucs are a better team than the Rams at all, and the Rams just lost to the Lions.
I don't think that the Bucs are a better team than the Rams either.
So why the Bucks beat the Lions but the Rams can't?
Because you can't compare games that way. It's
I think you can.
it's
If they're
not
back-
A equals B equals C
Let's say they're
situation.
back-to-back weeks, the same exact fucking stadium. They have more momentum because they just won their first playoff game in 32 years. Why would you not compare games?
This goes back to what Steven said when we were talking about the Rams-Lions game. I think the Rams would have won if Kyron Williams didn't get hurt. I think the Lions are only here because the Rams had injury problems at the end of the game. And like we've said, the Lions defense is not going to be able to stop Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. It's just not going to happen.
You got to give some credit to Rashad White, too, who has been pretty good.
This game, I could easily see these teams scoring a combined, 75 points. I think this could be a really high-scoring game. Yeah, or it could be 7-6, because who knows? Maybe both of the defenses decide to step up all of a sudden.
Anybody want to look up what the over/under on this game is real quick?
49.5.
Yep, I have it pulled up too.
39.5?
49.5.
Oh, 49. Ooh.
39 is low.
No, 49. 49.
49.
4. Because if it was actually 39.5, I'd be slamming the over on that easily. But 49.5 actually feels pretty good to me.
I would still probably take the over potentially on this one.
I probably would too. If I had to bet, I probably wouldn't touch this one. But if I had to bet, I'd take the over.
I'm not taking anything away from the Lions' offense. They are great. They've got Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, Reynolds. I mean, they have all of the weapons that they need. So if they could keep up with each other, this would be a great game. And that's all I want at this point are just good games to watch. I don't have a team left in the play. I don't have a team in the playoffs to start with. So
another player you got to mention if you're going to list out Lions players is Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta has been insane, and for him to be injured, I was worried about last week because it wasn't for sure if he was going to play. And then, of course, he did play, and he looked like he didn't miss a beat. He was right back out there, and, of course, got a touchdown. Sam Laporta has been awesome this year, too.
The Lions really got a generational tight end. He's going to be good for the next 15 years. And he's going to be unstoppable, which is terrifying.
Laporta is questionable for this game.
Oh, what was that, Tyler?
Switch me too.
Oh,
God damn it, Tyler.
Bitch it.
All right.
Now I don't want to be on the Bucks.
Okay.
Yeah, just be on the Bucks. It's fine.
This is gonna get messy. Hold on. Let me just clean this up a little bit.
Wow, it's fine.
Good enough. Who cares? Matthew, you're a little bit bigger than everyone else, but all right.
It's not that deep.
Well, things got extra spicy here.
The size of our heads is relative to our dick size, so.
Yep.
They're all about the same.
Yeah.
How do you know what that means?
Matthew's picture is bigger because of his hat, but head size wise, we're all basically the same.
Yeah, Matthew may have a slightly larger dick than us.
But no, his head size about the same. It's just his hat makes the thing bigger.
Maybe he's got a bigger helmet than we do.
Jason, I don't know.
Ryan's getting really defensive over this.
No, I don't. Matthew has an average penis.
There's the title.
In a Bucks uniform, and that's the title.
Get ready for the description on this one. I'm gonna say, can the Bucks beat the Lions? Does Matthew have a large penis? Find out on this episode of the Always Out of Market podcast.
Jesus.
Because it's not going in the title; it'll go in the description.
You know what's great is I had a meeting with my boss my first day back to work this week, and he was asking me about things that I do outside of work, and I told him about this podcast, and he said he was going to listen to our next episode that came out. So I'm glad he's going to listen to this episode as his first episode.
Hey, at least I don't feel. At least we haven't said anything that should cancel us this episode. Not that I remember. We had our last episode was pretty bad. All right. Well, if y'all don't have anything else to add about this game, we can move on.
Yep.
All right. Oh boy. What a surprise here, guys. What a
Resident
surprise.
Bills hater going against the Bills.
The man who owns a hat for the team that he picked. We got the Chiefs taking on the Bills, and everyone picked the Bills except for Tyler, who picked the Chiefs.
Look, the Sean McDermott little streak after coming out about the 9/11 thing's got to end at some point. So
Does it though? Because I
It's the
mean,
Chiefs'
it does.
first
America-
away game.
America hasn't gotten over 9/11 yet. So does Sean McDermott have to get over
We're
the winning
going
streak?
back to 9/11.
All right, now we're getting into
God.
territory.
Go to
where
the
it's-
Go to the next one.
This is the last one.
No,
Little bit of tidbit.
We're stuck here.
I'm gonna ignore what happened. So this is the first ever Patrick Mahomes time Patrick Mahomes will be playing in a playoff game, not in Arrowhead, like besides Super Bowl.
Which is nice. It's going to be great to see him on the road, hopefully struggle a little bit.
It'll be great to have the storyline of him winning his first ever road playoff game.
And get to see Taylor Swift in Highmark Stadium 78 times.
Yeah, I'm really excited for all these storylines.
They do it with Jerry Jones all the time. So
Yeah.
you know,
Don't compare Jerry Jones to Taylor Swift.
the people that complain about that also like they cut to multiple people during the game. It's not just like. They'll show fucking the Bills owner probably like multiple times.
Yeah, but those are the owners. They own the
Or whoever's in
team.
the stands.
We had a Taylor Swift. We had a Swiftie in here trying to defend Taylor Swift. It sounds like.
I don't hate Taylor Swift at all. I hate the NFL for running the fucking.
But I'm saying that they're gonna show show celebrities at the Bills game a lot too. There's gonna be celebrities at all these games.
I saw
I'm gonna say,
they panned to Eminem like once on the Detroit game.
Yeah.
Eminem was there, and they panned to him like once.
just want to say, if you put a blonde wig on Jerry Jones, I probably wouldn't tell the difference. Go on.
There's your thumbnail, Steven.
This is going to be an interesting one. No, I'm going to get Jerry Jones with a blonde wig, and I'm going to put that, 87 bracelet that Taylor Swift got from Travis Kelce on it.
Oh,
Flying an
God.
airplane.
Oh. Ooh, okay. I don't know what we're
Also,
going
the
to do with
Bills
this
aren't paying their
episode.
fans to. Bills aren't paying their fans to shovel snow this week. It's a big downer.
No, they are paying their fans.
Yeah,
They're just not giving
100%.
them a meal.
Oh,
I saw that they weren't paying them.
No, they're paying them $20 an hour. They're just not giving them meals this time.
Is this going to be a snow game again?
No, if there's just snow still in the stadium.
Oh, from before, yeah. I was about to say,
Yeah.
I was like, because I still had the graphic for the snow, and I just assumed I didn't need it. But all right.
Here, I'll look. Tomorrow, mainly cloudy and not as cold. Be sure to wear layers when going to the football game. Is literally what the weather says.
You heard it here first. Jason, our resident
Yeah, Chiefs fans,
meteorologist.
wear layers. Unlike last week.
It is supposed to snow 4 to 8 inches today, apparently.
Oh, so yeah, they'll definitely be shoveling snow tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
all right.
Rasul Douglas is questionable for this game.
Should have stayed at the Packers.
All right, that's it. So we'll see. Obviously, we're not keeping up with stats for this. This was more of just let's pick our games and just see how we do, whatever. I'll still potentially do a you were right, we were wrong. Hopefully, I don't have to do one for this one. I really hope I don't, Tyler. But other than that, we're not really keeping up with stats at this point. It's really just the bracket from here on out, which all of ours are already fucked anyway. But anything y'all need to add before we call it a podcast?
I think that's a podcast.
I think that's a solid podcast. All right. Ryan, you want to take us out, buddy?
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in, either listening or watching with your beautiful eyes to the NFL. I don't know why we're not branded by NFL. Nix that. It's the Always Out of Market NFL podcast, where we once again give you all shitty takes and just enjoy having fun.
Matthew has a large penis on 3. 1, 2,
1, 2,
3. Matthew has a large penis.
Tyler.